we're gonna get started in a minute. We're gonna get started in a minute, Anita. Hold the thought, baby. Thank you for my friend.
Where's everybody?
I don't know, but I know we're gonna get started in a minute. It is, as soon as Carrie gets back.
Okay.
We gotta wait for Mark to come in, so we'll have a quorum. Let me see what it is. See where it is. Yeah, wait. Really? Well, you just leave when you need to leave. You know, you open up and you leave when you need to leave. Okay, then, we'll wait on it. See you.
Shelby's coming too.
Because she forgot Wednesday.
She might be at school.
She said she'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, she said she'd be here. Good morning. Make sure she didn't forget it.
I can sit down and watch you come here. I'll sit down.
Hey, Chef, school your cakes. Where you at? We got to start these.
Y'all ready?
You get ready to open.
She's calling Shelby.
Shelby's not going to make it.
She not gonna make it.
Yeah, she's at a doctor's appointment.
Okay, now whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. We are about to open the Finance Committee meeting of today, which is July 17th, 2026. Time 10:30 here in the city courtroom. This is a call to order, and we have an invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance. Lord God, we come to you, Father, in the mighty name of Jesus. We thank you, Lord God, for this time in the city's business. Father, I ask you to bless this meeting, bless the comments, bless the presenters, bless our city, and Father God, we just give you all the praise and the glory in the mighty name of Jesus. Pledge of allegiance, salute, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation this time we have, roll call.
Councilman Gates,
Here.
President Irvin. Here. Councilwoman Temples.
Okay. Okay, and approval of the minutes, if you would, to review the, Finance Committee meetings for, February 5th, that's what I have, on our website. Agenda discussion that we have, all questions will be addressed, after the agenda items discussion, and please do not overspeak, while others are engaged. We're attempting to record our minutes, and when it's over speaking, it gives a glitch in the, it gives a glitch in the proceeds here. As far as our agenda discussions, we have Physical Administrator Nielsen's quarterly report, an overview, and we have our overview reports of financial sheets, income statements, expenditures 2023, closeout, then additional revenue resources to be recoupled grant funds, in addition to industrial park leases. Then we'll have status of paid and unpaid occupational licenses, status of property taxes, and the park permit. And all of these are overview because of time constraints. In addition, we have proposed plan of action for surveys of the bereaved in the city of Bogalusa cemeteries, and we have a backlog of public works work orders due to employee shortages. And finally, we have information on our Louisiana State 2.7 consumer price index that's coming up, and what it entails to set an expectation more or less of our upcoming water bills in August. And then we have meeting of jail. Now first of all, we'd like to present to you our physical administrator, Bob Nielsen, on his quarterly report.
I'm going to read some excerpts out of it rather than this long report. This report provides an update on the City of Bogalusa's financial operation, audit progress, compliance activity, infrastructure projects, and corrective action underway. During the quarter, efforts focused on financial reconciliation, completing of the 2023 financial statement, payroll system modernization, and airport compliance. While work remains in the several areas, the city continues to make steady progress towards improving financial stability. The financial position and audit of the status. Significant progress continues in correcting financial inconsistencies and improving financial management practices. A mid-year review of the city's 2026 adopted budget is underway. Revenue, expenditure, staffing changes, utility operation, and projected year-end results are being evaluated to identify any necessary budget amendments and to ensure the budget remains aligned with current operations and financial condition. The current outstanding accounts payable is $198,250. The general fund cash balance total is $730,000. Excuse me. The 941 reconciliations have been completed, and the related journal entries to cash and liabilities for federal and state withholding has been posted. There were automatic system entries being posted to the general ledger beginning in 23, which did not accurately reflect the actual cash transaction related to the withholding transaction. There were also duplicate journal entries that have been reconciled and corrected. The reconciliation of the operating bank account is in progress. Numerous unusual entries are in the outstanding items listed, and we are in the process of going through these entries to determine what they are and how these need to be corrected. A large number of transactions related to withholding were reflected in the previous setup. Reconciliation of other general ledger accounts in the city fund are in progress. All entries to be recorded, all entries to record investment activity for the retirement fund have been posted for the fiscal year ending June 30, 23, 24, and 25. Reconciliation of other general ledger accounts in the retirement fund are in progress. Let's see, based on current progress, I anticipate reconciliation of the 2023 financial records to be complete by August 1st, 2026. Once completed, the information will be submitted to the auditors to facilitate the completion of the 2023 audit. The city has hired a certified public accountant to serve as Director of Administration. This position will provide additional financial oversight and will significantly assist in the completion of outstanding reconciliations, preparation of financial records for audits, implementation of internal control, and other initiatives necessary to support the city's recovery effort.
Thank you, thank you. As I said, we're gonna hold all questions until after the discussions. In particular, were there any questions in reference to the report? The report may be found on, I wanna say, bogalusa.gov, Mr. Nielsen's report, or is it on the legislative auditors? His report?
I don't think it's on the website.
Okay.
No, it's on the
We're
website.
gonna place it on the website, so you can go through and peruse and you can also always go to, the state, the legislative, the legislative auditors, website. Okay, moving along, next we have an overview of, our financials, balance sheets, income statements, expenditures, so on and so forth, presented as tag team, Ms. Skylar Wade.
Okay, so, we have a snapshot of, what was budgeted and what has been spent in all the main accounts. So, the general fund revenue budgeted 8 million, actual year-to-date has been around 3 million. General fund expenditures budgeted 11 million, year-to-date 4 million. General fund transfers in budgeted 3 million, actual to date is around 800,000. Police total expenses 3 million, 1 million to date. Fire total expenses 2,900,000 to date. Public Works Central 1,500,000 to date. Public Works electrical expenses 69,000 budgeted, 23,000 to date. Public Works motor pool expenses 380,000 budgeted, 166 to date. Purchasing expenses 61,000, 30,000 to date. Administration and finance expenses 800,000 budgeted and 193 to date. General administration expenses 1,500,000 budgeted, 680 to date, 680,000 to date. Airport expenses budgeted at 93,000, 138,000 spent to date. Jail total 1,100,000 budgeted. Actual to date is 335,000. Utility operating revenue 5,600,000 budgeted, 2,600,000 to date. Utility operating expenses 5,596,000 budgeted, 2 million spent to date. Utility fund transfers to the general fund 1,800,000 budgeted, 700,000 to date. So if we're looking at all of our main accounts, we are okay in all of our accounts except for the airport expenses. We're about 45,000 over budget with the airport, but that is because we were in non-compliant with several things, and we had to, fix a lot of the issues at the airport. But we will have some reimbursements that Chasten's gonna talk about, where we will be recouping some of that money, and it will be coming back to us, so. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Our next agenda item, is there any questions? And the budget itself can be found, I think we have that on our website, right, Gary?
I think so.
Budget's already on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website, if you'd like to review that. Then we have next, the recoup grant funds that,
Okay, so you got me out of
Ms.
order with
Chester.
my stuff. So, Louisiana Public Assistance Disaster Recovery reimbursements. There were outstanding claims left open, that just required providing documentation. So far, we have actually received $229,000 in reimbursements. And I have, and as we're doing this, we're closing these projects out so that we know they're done. Right now, I have 2 projects that are still open, for a total of another $220,000, that we should be receiving, once those are closed out. All of the documentation has been submitted, everything looks good, it's just pending approval.
also, we
Do you
have,
want me to go through all of my stuff, or just that part?
yeah, if you have a listing
I
that
do.
you could share, please.
So, also, the Office of Community Development, had some HUD funding, and they're going to use that money for cost share reimbursements from the 2016 flood. They reached out, they told me which PWs, were eligible. I have already submitted all the documentation, everything's been signed off on. We don't know how much money that will be, but we do know that we will be getting that money. What else we got? There was another $40,000, through the Louisiana Governmental Assistance Program for, it's based off of our population, that's what we qualified for, and, we were able to submit for reimbursement, for work done to the sewer system. Capital outlay has been approved, $565,000 for the Davenport, Avenue Bridge, and $399,725 for the community center. We will need to sit down and figure that out, because nobody really knows the status of the community center.
Is that through the HB?
This
one
is through,
building?
Office of Facility Planning.
Okay,
So, I have been in contact with them, we just kinda need to figure out where things were left with that project.
okay.
All right, EPA Brownsfield assessment. There was $500,000 that was about to just be redistributed because they could not get in touch with anyone from the city. I have been in contact with them, we are now doing a weekly call every Monday afternoon. We're going to get this project started. There's some documentation that needs to be updated. All this just happened this week, so it's fairly new. And this is gonna be for environmental assessment activities. We won't be able to use the money for demolition or cleaning, but we can do it for site plans, testing for EPA hazards, and a lot of other things. So that will definitely help. Okay, the Community Development Block Grant. We applied for, $2 million for infrastructure, repairs to the sewer system. We did not get it. It's based off of priority, but we don't have to reapply. We are eligible for it, We just, there were other people with higher priorities. So as funds become available, then we could possibly still receive some funding on that.
What is the match on that?
Probably 20%. Did I talk about the ARPA report yet?
I don't think you did your first page.
Okay, yeah, guess I thought I did. All right, so Department of Treasury, state and local recovery funds, and this is where we have to do the reporting, for the ARPA money that we got. We were in non-compliance because nobody submitted a report in 2024, so, I couldn't go back and do that again because I didn't have information. But I did submit the 2025 on time. They removed us from the non-compliance list. I have submitted the 2026, and I did that based off of, I think at the end of 24, you guys dedicated the remaining funds to the sewer system. So I went and reported that, and I requested that that project be closed out. So they will contact me, and we'll make sure they have all the documentation, and that will be done also. Payroll taxes. Becky Hammond has been here helping us a great deal. There were some payments that were not properly applied. She has put those in a spreadsheet, explained how they should have been applied, and this will affect the penalties and interest that we were charged. And I had to submit a formal request for abatement of those penalties along with the corrections. They wouldn't do it over the phone, so we have to go back.
And what year was that for?
For 2024, I think.
Okay.
I think it was for 23 and 24, whatever those past due amounts were.
Right.
It was 20.
Because the payments weren't made until after we got here in 25.
I'm aware.
But the debt was from 23 and 24.
Only found out in 25.
Right. So the payments were made in 25, but they were for 23 and 24 payroll taxes. We also got a notice, and I have supporting documentation behind my notes for all of this stuff. We got a notice from the IRS that, the American Care Act, the 1095Cs that reports the, health insurance had not been submitted since 2022. They only sent the notice on 23, but the penalties are $310 per employee, for not submitting the, information returns, and again, the same fee for not giving the employees the copy of it. So that was like $93,000 in penalties for not submitting that report. They have all been submitted. There was an issue with Tyler. Tyler runs automatic updates. There was an issue with our server that was blocking the updates. So, GoTechie,
That's very nice.
they came in and did whatever to the server, and we're now able to receive the Tyler updates. We were able to submit, you have to submit these online, and they have to be in a certain format. So all of that has been taken care of, and I am going to at least call and ask if they will remove some of the penalties on that.
Does that involve the payroll taxes penalties, or we pretty much?
No, this was strictly for that, American Care, yeah. All right, property taxes.
Yes.
Total property taxes collected to date is $4,459,396. Outstanding still owed is $108,189. The tax sale is scheduled for September 29th. Juris deed is in the process now of preparing notices, public notices to citizens, and they are supposed to be preparing us an informational brochure that we will post, for everybody to understand how their process works. water meter installation is, approximately 95% complete. Basically what's left to do are abandoned houses and we just decided that we will replace those when somebody comes and gets service. You know, there's no sense in putting new meters in the ground that may not ever be used. There were some issues with the trash billing. There were a lot of people who were receiving trash services and not being billed, and the city was having to eat, I think it was about $15,000 a month. We have gotten that updated, and we're still working on it, you know, because we wanna contact the people and have them come in. We don't want to just go and add stuff to their
Their
bill.
billing.
Right, so that is an ongoing process. We have made some progress, but we are not gonna.
And what's the time date as far back on the trash? Do you?
I don't know, when did
How long this
when
has
did
been
Coastal
going?
start? They started in,
21 or 22?
yeah, no, they started,
January
yeah,
23.
they started in 23.
So,
So, I mean, I don't know how long the issues had, I mean, one of the things that we identified was that, the water clerks, whenever someone comes in to turn service off, were not notifying Coastal to stop that trash service, so the cans were just being left and the next person moved, I mean, so there were multiple factors that contributed to the mess. And some of it, we just don't even know how it happened, but we are
Cleared
getting
up.
that, straightened. Hopefully I will have some free time now that we've got David, and I want to start looking at the billing. I wanna look at the trends, you know, with the new meters to see, you know, the differences that's, happening there.
but wasn't they, on coastal, wasn't they a situation where people are just being billed the water and sewer, wasn't being billed trash?
Yeah. There was
That
about
was-
$15,000 a month that was not
Right.
being billed. I mean, the city was having to pay Coastal, but we weren't collecting that
We're
money.
upside
From the
down.
individuals.
Right. We also, I worked with CSA to develop a new report in their billing system. It's just called a vacant with usage. So whenever those meter reads get sent over to billing, if there's not an account set up in a customer's name, it generates on this report, and then we send Chris out to go and see, you know, is somebody living there, or, you know, because the meter is showing usage, but there's no active account, and there,
Now, coastal's told council that they done their audit.
yes, we
Yeah.
worked with them, they did an
Yeah.
audit, we did an audit, you know, we have worked closely together, in figuring this out.
Okay,
So, but yeah, I was talking about water with the vacant usage.
gotcha.
So, we have gotten a lot of people to come in and get their service turned on, you know, monitoring this monthly, and, Chris will go out and put a door hanger or whatever, and they usually contact, so if they don't, then we turn it off, of course. Okay, Susan Robbins came a few weeks ago and met with us about the water rate study. The last increase that we have, that we needed to do to bring us up to the current CPI was a 2.7%.
And that acronym stands for the Consumer Price Index.
Yes, so, we have submitted for, CSA to implement that beginning next month, I think. So we will be current with the CPI, and it will be up to us to make sure that we stay current with it, and whenever it updates in January, that's when we need to adjust our billing to match. That will save us a lot of trouble.
And this particular item is on the agenda because, as she indicated, it's not effective until August. So we want to set the expectations that your billing, your water billing, not due to the council, not due to the fiscal administrator, but to the state CPI folks, it's a do it every year, but we've been behind, and so they did a survey, they're letting us know, so we
Yeah.
wanna let you know.
And the
What's going on?
reason for that survey is to make sure that we are making enough money off of our utilities to maintain our utilities, for operational costs, basically. So, I mean,
And to
we've
make
just
us-
been losing,
And to make us eligible for grants. They want to see
Exactly.
what we're doing on
so,
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the purpose of the study, is to make sure that we can operate, you know. I think the last thing I have is that, I'm working with the Office of Debt Recovery, that's through the Louisiana Department of Revenue. We can go back for 3 years on closed accounts that left an open balance. Right now, that total is $875,000. There is a process, we have to send a 60-day notice, a 30-day notice, and then we turn it over to debt recovery. They have a whole other notice system that they do. There are no fees to the city. Whatever, they collect, they charge the customer whatever their fee is, and then pay us the full amount of what is owed. And they will do that through, state income tax return garnishment, multiple things, liens on your, not liens, but a hold on your driver's license. You know, they have a lot more resources available for collection than we do. So we have, been working with them and with CSA to get the forms created, because the letters have to have certain wording, and then to create the electronic file that we will submit to the Office of Debt Recovery. And I think that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And I had mentioned earlier about the IRS, penalties, where we are on that for payroll.
Yeah, we are just waiting to hear back from them.
Okay.
So we have submitted all of our documentation, submitted a formal request for the penalties to be reduced or removed,
Yes,
and we're just waiting to hear back
but
from them.
we're good in the other area.
Yes, we are, I mean, we're up to date on everything now. This is all still pertaining to,
The penalties,
right.
and payroll taxes penalties. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Shasta. Okay, now, this may be a double team as well. The next item is the industrial park, leases that we have, in which Ms. Blackwell did send me a listing, of the folks that are in industrial park that we have now. And, you should have this in your packet, which is listing, Allied Materials, Canal Energies, Savage, the Savage Store, Maximus, North Shore School, and International Paper that are current. And we have a total of that's supposed to be coming in. She has $55,245.17. That's in the industrial park lease. Chastity, you had mentioned you may have something additional to add with that, or?
No, that was not on, no, we were making efforts to collect at the airport for hangar
Okay,
rentals. is
okay,
what
I thought someone did a walk at the industrial
Well,
park.
we rode out there a couple of times
Okay.
to
Okay.
figure out which buildings were occupied and who was where,
Okay.
and they do all appear to be occupied.
Okay, that's good, and that's our revenue that's coming in industrial park. As I said, everyone should have that in your packet as well. Sorry. Next, we have on the agenda items, see here, is, paid and unpaid occupational licenses, which Miss Linda did send some information on the paid and occupational licenses. You do have a copy of that in your packet. We have quite a bit of people that are adhering to the paid and unpaid, so that we get our revenue in. But there's some people, I that's adhering to the paid, licenses. But as far as unpaid, we have, once again, a couple of people that, a couple of businesses, I had suggested at one point, that perhaps we could maybe, send a letter out or send a newspaper, listed in a newspaper article, but that's still under, yes, it's still under, whether we're gonna do that, to make a decision to do that, but they do need to be notified because we do need the revenue on it. Does anyone else have anything on the paid and unpaid licenses? Okay. Yeah, but there's quite a few, as I said, and they're all in your packet. If you have any additional questions, please contact Ms. Linda Jones. That's our, individual that handles that. Okay. Next on the, Ms. Bickham did speak on the status of the property taxes. Next, we have our park permits, which most of you should have read the ordinance that we introduced at the last meeting in reference to the park permits. And I just wanted to reiterate on the park permits that, you know, the residents have always obtained a permit. But what we're adding to this, two important items that I wanted to reiterate on is that the cleanup fee. There'll be $250 for a cleanup fee. $200 for the cleanup fee. And once it completes, they will be reimbursed and refunded that cleanup fee in the park. The other thing is about nonprofit organizations that were added in, and the nonprofit organizations, as far as permits are concerned, they will be able to waive that, providing that their organization is focusing on youth programs. It has to be a youth program basis, and secondly, it has to be an corporate endeavor agreement with the city. That's only for nonprofit organizations. Okay, now. Okay, proposed plan of action of the Reed in the city of Bogalusa. Many of you saw many of you concerns in reference to our cemeteries, and you saw a particular flyer that was out there. And we have to get a handle on our cemetery. There may be, hadn't been a quote yet, a survey that we have to do in the cemetery to decide upon the folks that we have there within our cemetery. There was a letter by the administrator in the back of your ordinance. I'm not sure if all of you read that letter, but it talked about our cemeteries and how we can get a gist and make sure we have property and the information on where people are actually located within the cemetery itself.
It's posted on the city website.
Yeah, and it's also in this packet
Yeah.
as well. It's in this packet for folks to read. We must get a handle on our loved ones there in the cemetery. We must get a handle on who's buried where in the cemetery. There's a mapping that's been shared, but it's being reviewed to make sure the deeds are affiliated with who's buried where. If an individual is buried in an area where they're supposed to, I understand that there's an area that we had not designated in the cemetery, so we'll be looking into that. Any other comments on the cemetery? There was a conversation that I had, I think maybe Chastity you had as well, with the state cemetery board. And, they did indicate that, from my knowledge, they did indicate, with the board that they were gonna assist Bogalusa with grants to help Bogalusa, to get our information and our projects, here with our cemetery in order. And that's it on the cemetery. Just wanna give you a heads up on it. It's very disturbing. You know, the cemetery has been a project of myself and some other council people where we visit out at the cemeteries, and, we just need to get everything in order. We're beginning to, and it's gonna take some time to do it, you know, but we are attempting to do it. Okay, now, also, the backlog of the public works orders, due to employee shortages. Now, a lot of people have said, well, why are they not cleaning up the city? Why, well, we put our work orders in, the council put our work orders in, but realizing that, the work orders are behind because there's a shortage in the employees. And I did speak with Mr. Jones, this morning. I believe he has hired in at least 3 other people. Mr. Nielsen is looking for the money where we can hire more people in to attend to our city, because we agree with you. We do need to get our city cleaned up, but we have to prepare, in it and set expectation. Now, Mr. Public Works did send this, little small report to me, and it indicated in the month of June, 2,079 work orders were entered into iWork, and 30.8% were completed. 70.2% went into the month of July. So they're doing what they can, they're doing the best they can, but hopefully with the hiring in of some extra folks, that will help out with our work orders in the Public Works Department, and we can, quote unquote, get our city, cleaned up. We're trying the best. They're really working hard, and he's getting some good people in as well into Public Works.
Well, question on that, the tractors and lawnmowers, are we,
Now, from what I understand, all the equipment was done. That has been like 2 weeks ago. All the equipment were repaired except for the gravel. It was a gravel truck, and it's probably repaired now. You'll see them out and about, Public Works. On it, I know it was a question. I met with a lady on Louisiana Avenue. The RC folks came out and they cut it, but it was a lot of excess grass out, but they did take care of that before the 4th of July parade. There was a question on that. Okay, and then, okay, she did speak a little bit on the CPI. Once again, just setting expectations that the water bills will be going up next month, and that's due to a state mandated CPI increase that we'll be having. Okay, now we're done with are there any questions? We're done. If you'd like, come before the podium if you would, please, and state your name and your address.
I've got quite a few, so hopefully you'll permit me a little bit more of a less formal approach.
Gloria,
And,
how long?
Those are 3 minutes, yes.
okay, so we're stuck with 3?
Yes,
Okay.
same as the council.
Well, then I'll ask all my questions, and then I'll give you all a
Thank
chance
you,
to
Mr.
respond, so
McNair.
that way it's all fits within that 3 minutes.
Thank
Mr. Nielsen, you had mentioned, and if y'all wanna take notes, you can, I'll go person by person. You had mentioned payroll modernization. I know you might not have a line item list with you, but I was curious, and I would like to learn what our previous city attorney annual salary costs were. And then I know we have someone acting as city attorney at the moment that I believe is through a contract. If you know what the hourly rate for that contract is.
His total for a
He's
year.
doing all the questions first.
Yeah, I'll do all the questions. Also, it's came to my attention that we have implemented a biometric facial scanner for our time clock that is potentially a risky issue with the Louisiana Constitution that some of our employees are concerned with, and so I'm bringing it to y'all's attention because I don't think their union reps are doing an adequate job on bringing these issues or advocating some of these issues because they might not understand it fully. So I would like to know what the cost and the intent of the biometric systems are. Furthermore, I see that we have net checks that's being used for our payroll. If we have a payroll department, I'd like to know what the additional cost per month and initial setup
For net
fees
check.
for net checks. Also, has there been any vetting of the BOI file for net check systems?
And point of order, Mr. McNeil, just in case I may not or may not have mentioned it, if we do not have the answers to your questions, we would definitely get back.
I would just let him go.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
All right, we'll restart.
And then,
Sorry.
along with those attorney costs, the net check costs, the biometric and hardware installation costs, what, do we have any third-party vetting process for any of these to make sure that we are paying an applicable fair market value for the work and equipment? The reason I ask is because if you look into the BOI for net checks, there are some concerning information there. Now that addresses payroll modernization, also the fact that if we have a payroll department, why are we paying net checks? If we install biometrics for integrity to make sure employees are actually showing up, net checks kind of circumvents that because employees can clock in through their phone through an app. So if we're using biometrics to make sure employees are here, but then we give them a tool to circumvent it, it's kind of a waste of money there. I had some other questions. Ms. Cates, you had mentioned, and I may have misheard, I can't remember on the backlog of public works work orders if it was 2,079 or 279.
It was 200.
200. Okay, thank you. And then
Hold on, let me give a note. Sure here.
let's see, we had. I had some questions for Ms. Chaston. You had mentioned that our 1095C not submitted garnered 93,000 in penalties. You'd also mentioned that the Tyler server, I'm assuming it was a firewall that was blocking updates, that had incurred additional penalties. Is that our payroll obligations? Is that what those penalties are, or were those separate penalties? Those are separate. Do you know how much the Tyler penalties were?
No, there's no, I was just explaining that the issue was that Tyler couldn't update because of the server issue.
Okay, so
Which
we're,
wouldn't allow us to submit the forms in the correct format.
okay, so Tyler, like, we're not actually being penalized
No,
for
no.
Tyler specifically, it's just
No.
Tyler contributed to some of these.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then, you had mentioned a sale on the 29th, is that gonna be through Civic Source or in-house? Or
Jurisdy.
what's that?
Jurisdy.
Jurisdy? Okay,
All right, 3 minutes is up.
that's the 29th of this month?
September.
September, okay. I think that is gonna be, oh, the industrial park leases, we have check marks next to 2 of those names, are those no longer active?
I'm sorry.
On
The
the
check marks.
industrial park leases, we have a check mark
Dinah
next to Diamond
Scaffolding
and Robertson.
and Robertson.
Are those still active, or
They-
was there a purpose for
From
those
what I
having check
understand, they
marks?
need to be clarified if they're still, active.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the check marks
Yeah, that's
indicate
why,
on that one.
that's why.
That's why, because you're still verifying.
Clarifying
Okay.
if they're gonna.
And then the last thing, and I know I'm a little bit over, the last thing, and I'll step out of
Yeah,
the
your
way.
3 minutes is up.
On the AI generated notice that's at the back of the packet, it mentions that the city maintains common grounds, main roadways, general grounds maintenance. Do we have any?
Cemeteries.
Yeah, for the cemeteries. Have we had any public works work orders submitted for getting those squared away? Because we've seen videos of common grounds and grounds maintenance that just hasn't been maintained in some of our cemeteries.
And the
Do we have
cemetery,
any-
yes, I have submitted, work orders.
Yeah, okay, all right. I just-
But keeping in mind
We do
now,
have a backup.
those properties, cemetery properties primarily belong to the property owners.
Well, yeah, the plots,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going off of what the city declares as their responsibility in this flag. So, as long as I just see that we have some progress on the cemetery as far as cleaning up the areas that do fall under the city's purview, that was my main concern there.
Okay,
All right.
Thank
I
you.
can
appreciate it.
answer your payroll questions that you had,
Yes.
no one answered that.
Yeah.
So when we were looking at different payroll companies, we did get 3 different quotes from 3 different companies. I think it was NetChecks, Paylocity, and Paychecks. We went with the lowest one, which was NetChecks.
Okay.
And, we were paying $15,000 a year for a time clock system that we had here. So we have eliminated that cost because we got rid of that time clock. The time clock that we have with the facial recognition, that was something that came with, the NetChecks package.
Okay.
I think we pay total, is it 30 a year? It's like 27 or maybe like 30.
Records request for the invoices.
Yeah, I wanna say it's like around
Just shy of
$30,000 a year to have NetChecks. We do not have a payroll clerk.
Okay.
So we're actually saving money because we're not going to replace the payroll clerk. So we're,
So we're outsourcing it.
yeah, so now we're paying just around the 30 for NetChecks, and then we're not paying the payroll clerk salary, and we're not gonna be paying that $15,000 time clock that we had before.
Okay.
And they're processing the retirement payments also.
Yeah, and they
health
also,
insurance and all of that. Yeah, okay.
they're,
And they're
they,
paying our taxes on time.
they handle the payroll taxes, so moving forward, we will not have any issues with
Payroll
that
taxes.
not being sent in and stuff like that, so.
Okay. And now, you'd said previously the time clock system was 15,000, was that per month or per year?
Per year,
Per year. So now we're paying 30,000 per year, to NetChecks.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
And we're no longer paying the 15,000 for the time clock, and we're no longer
Plus
paying the
payroll.
salary for
And
payroll.
benefits for the payroll clerk.
And I think that in the budget, we had 2 different payroll, positions budgeted, and neither one of those are going to be there anymore. So those will be removed when we do the amended budget.
Okay. All right.
And as indicated, your question on Public Works, it is, he did definitely say 279 for the month of June.
Okay. And then, Mr. Nelson, would you like to speak on the attorney costs?
It's in the budget. With the prior one, it was 45,000 a year, now it's 50.
No, so it was, we budgeted 15,000 for this year in the budget. 2026 budget salary was 15,000 for the city attorney. And, there has been no change in that price for the interim city
Okay, so
attorney.
the interim
Wasn't
is only doing 15,
15.
they're not going off of the 200 an hour that was previously in other contracts?
I don't know the total, but I know we took whatever was what we had already spent and then divided the months up, so he's being paid so that we don't go over the 15 for these
So
years.
15 is the limit?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right. That is pretty much everything. Oh, do we use a third party? Because that was one thing that didn't get answered. Do we use any third party vetting processes, or do we just take a bid and whoever's the lowest we go with?
We use Lamax on occasion, and
Yeah.
it depends on, and that's through the state. Are you
And if you're talking about the
particular thing?
payroll, we did go through them at first with the
Nice.
payroll companies, and they just told us, get the 3 quotes, and then we decide. With a professional service, you get 3 quotes, and then choose whichever one works
Okay.
best.
The reason I was asking, because the city uses, or the school system uses third party verification software, so I don't know if we have anything like that. So, all right.
Yes,
I appreciate it. I
Max.
think that's all the questions. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone other, Mrs. Little?
Good, sorry, that's okay. Debbie Corsetti, 764 Walter Richardson Road, you know that? I just have a few quick questions. website, because I couldn't find it on the legislative auditor's website. And I emailed Tanya Phillips, who works there, and
Yes.
she referred me back to the city.
Mm.
She wouldn't tell me like where to find it on the website or if it even existed on the website. So I hope y'all will put it on the city site. Also, I'm just curious, why the city is including the cost for, waste management, on the water sewer bills. In other places where I've lived, waste management deals directly with the homeowner or renter. So why don't they, it would seem like it would eliminate some
I would
problems.
love to do that personally.
I mean, they should be dealing directly with the homeowner or the renter.
I think it's always been where it's,
It's costing us money.
It's costing the city money and aggravation.
yeah, it's always
Having to
been
figure out
for
if
many
it
years,
matches.
even, you used to work here, correct? I think even with you, did you?
I just worked in the planning and zoning for a
Okay,
short while.
okay, right. But, yeah, it's always been where they had that billing, the cost in the billing, yes. Maybe that's
Yeah.
something we can
Maybe that's
explore.
something we need to look at
Yeah, we
changing.
can maybe,
I mean, they're an
maybe,
independent company, it's not like
See the
it's a
pros and
city
cons.
service, like water and sewer, that the city actually provides. So it seems to me like they should take care of their own business, not go through the city. Then I have some, other brief points about the cemetery. I had made an appointment, with Leslie Pittman on July 9th, to look at the information about the city plots and the maps and stuff. And I had also, after that, called Mr. Nielsen's office to try to schedule an appointment, but I never heard back. I'm not sure if you got the message or not, but that was Monday. Anyway, to the point of what that was all about, is I had a proposal for the city that if they might be interested in me, or someone else could, but I have got the idea and the will to do it, and that is to form a nonprofit organization for the maintenance and preservation of the grave sites that have apparently have no family left to care for them. So that was one thing I would want the city's partnership and approval to do something like that. The other thing that I was gonna discuss privately with you, but I'm just gonna say it here. I was reviewing some old newspapers to see what historical characters might be preserved in those cemeteries. So we might get them on a historical cemetery site, designation. And came across an article, I think it was from 1919, where Panama Cemetery sold a plot of land to, I'm not sure who the company is, but it was for the purpose of building the mausoleum. The mausoleum profited the city $10,000. Well, that was in 1919. How much would we profit now if you find in your audit that there is a piece of land large enough to do a mausoleum, say in Bogalusa Cemetery where they don't have one, and they seem to have a water table problem. How much might we profit on that? By selling the land, and I think you could probably get a small percentage of proceeds of sales from whoever builds the mausoleum. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Ms. Corsetti, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and because you're always so nice about stuff, coming across and asking questions. I do need to encourage you at some good ideas, but if you was over the nonprofit and you was to win District C Council race, that would definitely be a conflict of interest. And I wouldn't want to see you get tied up in ethics at all, because trust me, that's a whole tangled web. I've seen people get caught up in that mess and
In what? probably and be
Right.
sure, because, I mean, the city's obligation is to the common areas. The nonprofit's obligation would be to the graves themselves. So I would get council's advice on that.
Yeah, you better, cause, the thing is, I wouldn't wanna see you get tied up in ethics at all, period.
No, I mean,
That's a mess
Yeah.
in itself, because they've even been after the governor a couple of times, and they'll wait in the wings and not go that day.
yeah.
They'll wait till a perfect opportunity and jump on it. So I've seen them do that kind of stuff. This is Louisiana, it's a Wild West show.
And also, Ms. Cassetti, I would like to say, a couple of years ago, it had to be like in 2015 or 16, there was an individual who came forth, and I met with her at the library in reference to forming a nonprofit for the cemetery. And it just kind of, no one would meet on it. It just kind of bounced, went off the face of the earth, that particular idea. But we were looking at that where a nonprofit person could take over the cemetery. I think they have, I did review something. It was from, I said it was from Mandeville, that information that she, had proposed to
Yeah.
us. We are also attempting, and I talked to Mr. Nielsen about this, attempting to get our cemetery board. We're gonna get some other boards in place first, but we need and we'd love to see you serve on the cemetery board, as well, where we can get some ideas and kind of get a handle and get more folks involved with our cemetery. We used to go out, clean it up and what have you, so it was disbanded, and we would have to get that, or we would like to get that, back in place, the cemetery board. And then you also mentioned about, you read old newspaper for the mausoleum, the price and how we could maybe raise money with that area. That's another, subject matter we could perhaps look
Right.
into.
It's like, once you finish the audit to see what plots have been purchased already and what land
Right.
is available,
Right.
if there's a plot large enough, an area large enough without purchased plots, you could sell that plot to someone who wants to build
I
a
believe somebody
mausoleum
told
there.
me we had about maybe five plots left.
Yeah, there's only like probably less than 20 plots left.
Yes,
Really?
Yeah.
and that's
I know in
why,
the back, there's a big empty space, I guess
Well-
people are just waiting to die.
Because it's empty, I mean, I have 4 plots out there, but they're empty right now.
Yeah.
Right,
So, I mean,
right,
you can't
right.
necessarily walk through there
Right.
and just
And
look at
tell.
the empty plots.
Right.
So, I mean, those
What-
are those
what
that
about-
sell for a year.
What about if you take the Long Avenue school site, since the school board wanted dirt cheap price for it, okay? And tear down that Long Avenue, sell the bricks off so you can cover your initial fee of buying the property, and turn that into a cemetery.
well,
It's on flat land, it's high up, it won't flood.
Long Avenue, well,
Yeah, the Long Avenue school
Yeah, you
site.
probably have to do some EPA testing
Right.
on the site.
that's right,
That's a good
absolutely.
idea, Mark.
I was floating that idea,
Yeah,
like
it has been, some research
because
done.
they wanted initially 35,000 because they were fire selling the thing. Literally. And this was here, what, in 23, they advertised it for 35,000, just trying, and they couldn't get no takers because of the asbestos.
Right.
Yes.
There,
And
yeah.
asbestos is what's gonna
Yes.
cost you money.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
can cost you millions.
That's
And,
right.
but I will tell you something, the Long Avenue, I think it's Long Avenue, Pleasant Hill, those are the only two that I know that won't flood. That's the only two I know, that hasn't flooded in recent floods, or 16. So, those are something I think.
That is
Big
something.
sites.
But I would put hedges around it to make it
Right.
where people are not looking at grave sites all the
Right.
time.
Right, yeah.
And put the mausoleum there, it's always a good idea to build up instead of build out. Because
Right.
you can make more money building up than you
Yeah, I
can
think that's in
building
our
out. That's
ordinance
mine.
also to build up.
And you don't have to worry about the grades deteriorating,
You wouldn't have to
vaults
worry about all that.
deteriorating and stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Right, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Anita Graham,
Hey, Anita Graham.
1624 Langston Street, Apartment E.
Yes.
We'll start right now, don't worry about what's in the past. I don't pay them anymore, but anyway.
And then starting in January, we will start, doing them at the time it's supposed to be done in the state record.
Another one is on the companies that have new business in the city. How many, I see the list of those who paid, how many have not paid?
Well, it should be a paid and unpaid list.
Not on the sheet I got, but I'll check with it somebody later.
Okay, yeah, she sent the paid and unpaid list. Should be.
My pages show either renew or not that city. Anyway, that's what I would like to know, because we spent a lot of work getting up all those names one time.
Yes, yes,
And we've had a lot of new ones lately, a lot of them.
yes,
Just popping up everywhere.
yes.
Uh,
Yeah, we did visited those sites and, you know,
and
just
one other
walking.
thing, on the cemetery, who's gonna be in
Pages.
charge of that map? Because my family has got a problem. My in-laws, they've been there for years and years and years and years before I ever got in the family. The city came and made a road across their 4 graves. And I talked to James Hall about it years ago when he was working for the city, and he was gonna go back and just replace them with some others. But I never did do it. I turned it, since it was Mitchell's family instead of mine, I said, y'all do it, you know, and they haven't done it yet. So I know there's 4 graves there that are owed.
Sites, plots.
So I need to know who, your plots, I need to know who to contact. Do y'all know who to contact?
Well, that could be notated, because, as I said earlier, we're in the process to make a decision to do an actual survey on, I believe that's in both cemeteries, I believe, for who's where. And if people are actually buried, in the same plot, that's another issue that,
A lot of them were.
I mean,
all
double
one
plotted,
name.
I put it like that, that's an issue that we have to,
There are a lot of the deeds out there with plots that people bought them, and the people that bought them are, it's not in their name on the stones.
yeah, yeah.
And I had heard many years ago that up at that front section, there somebody was gonna be buried, and there was grave already there, so.
Yes.
That's the importance of, like I said, the proposed survey. It hadn't been a decision made yet, but a proposed
Well, if you can
survey.
find out and let me know, I'll try to show them what that 4 is, well, I tell them where it is, it's on the corner there.
Yes, yes. And as far as, room, that was Ms. Cassetti's question. There is room in the back. During 2016, it was suggested to cut down the trees, so we can have more room. Hopefully, with the state cemetery board, with them looking for grants, they can maybe help us with
There's
that.
not much woods there, though, it's mostly going straight down to that creek.
Well,
Those
it's,
little
yeah,
lakes.
I walked through it, so, but unless it has changed. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you,
Y'all do a good job.
Ms. Grant.
Sweet.
Okay, are there any other questions? If not, any comments? President, Mark, any questions or comments, or?
I think it was a good meeting, and very informative. And thank you for your detailed reports. We appreciate that. That's what this should look
Mhm.
like at all the times, you know, even with administrations. And I'm gonna tell you something, this has been very enlightening.
Yes.
And thank y'all very much for coming and taking out time for your
I
day.
have a couple, I'm sorry, it's just.
Well, we've
Live
actually-
on Okeechobee, here in Bogalusa.
You said you-
State
could
your
you-
name and address.
Matthew Urban, 443 Okeechobee, Bogalusa.
Okeechobee, yes,
Is there an ordinance against people piling their trash and limbs in their ditches in front of their house?
Is there an ordinance that prevents that? I
Yes.
mean, just, well, I can look it up, it could possibly fall under, litter, you know, because we do not want, limbs and what have you into ditches,
That-
because that does cause a problem.
I went around Richardson
The,
Town.
the limbs actually should go on the side of the street.
For brush collection.
For public works to pick up those limbs,
Exactly.
not in the ditch, yes, sir.
It seems that a lot of the drainage problems that we're having is everybody's worried about the ditches. It's not the ditches, it's what the ditches feed into, which is
Yes.
the creeks and the
Mhm.
tributaries.
Mhm.
Well, whenever you got people throwing trash bags, shopping carts, limbs and leaves in their ditches, it goes through the gutters, it gets hung
Yes.
up.
Yes.
But it also piles where it feeds into the creek. Well, if the water can't flow,
Absolutely.
that's 70% of your problem.
Mhm.
It's not the ditches, it's where the ditches go.
Mhm.
But I know when I was in Post 313 with Colonel Miller, there's a law that you can't touch anything in a waterway in Louisiana. You can't remove trees that are in the way, stuff like that. And I don't know if that's changed. That's been 16 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. And our public works, they do all they can to advocate that, you know,
We have a
to
stray
put the
dog.
limb, and that's also in our contracts, for coastal weight. If there's a pickup, it has to be like on the side, yeah,
10 feet
side
from
of the
curb
street.
or less, so they gotta reach it with their mechanical arm.
Exactly.
The water system checks on the dilapidated houses and the houses that may not have any people in them, but you still have water. I worked for Public Works in the CBs when I was in the service. When they do those checks, are they just checking the meter? Or are they actually looking under the house to see if stray dogs knock water lines loose and that's why you're getting a feed at the meter but there's nobody there? Like, how in detail are they checking? Cause I mean, you take a guy that don't know a whole lot and you put him out there, he just looks at the meter to see if it's feeding, cause we know how 26 to 32-year-olds are.
Absolutely, the city has been with the city for almost 30 years.
Yes.
I understand. I've worked behind a lot of 30-year mechanics that don't know what the hell they're doing.
The ones that I've dealt with, they show, if I go out on the site within the district, District A, they actually show me the meter running. They very professional, with that in detail, especially if it's a leak to determine if it's on the city side or if it's on the customer side.
Mr. Irvin, I want to tell you something. Anything past that meter, that's the customer's responsibility. And I can tell you that they have been many houses that I roll up on and they're leaking up, you're right, they're leaking from up underneath the house. Now, if I'm going around filling out my work orders and I filled out close to probably about 600, 700 during this term, okay? And I can tell you immediately when I see a water leak, even under their house, I'll go knock on their door, okay? I'll go knock on their door. But I also will alert Public Works because that person's gonna come up with $400 or $500 water bill, easy.
Yeah.
The other day, I had a leak at my house, you know, that's a 1959 house, Jim Walters' house. So it's a Pandora's box of issues. And I can tell you from what I know and everything that, you're gonna have plumbing issues. But they have a leak detector over here that tells you that you've got a leak at the meter,
Yes.
but it does not tell you where that leak is. That's my problem with all that. I would love to see our system, which I know I'm asking for too much for the computer system to do it, but to send out a text immediately as soon as it detects a leak. And that will save the customer a whole lot of money. But I found out when I became councilman in 2018, I worked in, as you know, in customer service and worked with all kinds of retailers. They ain't no customer service over here. I'm just gonna point out blank. I mean, they're nice and everything, but it's tilted towards the house, tilted towards the city. We gotta make money. And, but also, on our constituents, like me and Councilwoman Cates, we feel, between the two of us, we report the most work orders that any other councilman in the thing. Now, some of them do. Now, the thing is.
It's getting
they know
reported,
us.
just not getting
Right.
fixed, because we don't have a person there.
And I make sure the other council people, hey, if they wanna learn and they wanna know, I don't try to stop them, because I got people calling from their districts, and, you know, I got enough, as you know, I take care of my disabled mother, and I do council work and 2 other jobs, so I don't need more things, but I'm always professional and courteous, no matter if the person's cussing me out when I'm in. I'm 52 years old, I got thick skin, I've been in politics now for 8 years, it don't bother me anymore.
So going back to that, the main issue that we're finding in these, what we're calling vacant uses houses, is that they're not actually vacant. That people are actually living there and don't have the water service. in
Okay.
their name.
That
And
wasn't
that's-
clear before. That
Right,
makes
so
more
they're
Is it a movement of buried masses in the cemetery? Is that the
A
problem?
movement of buried masses?
I just didn't wanna say bodies, but bodies.
Is it,
Like they're worried about
well,
the location of people?
that's gonna be determined if
If they
we
approve the
decide
survey.
about with the survey, yes. That will be determined.
That was all I had. Thank y'all very much for your
Yeah.
time.
We
Thank you,
can't,
sir.
we can't say until.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Now, Councilwoman Shelby Temples, any comments? No comments? Well, I'd like to say,
Thank you. I had
Yeah,
another
thank you.
appointment. I was a little late. I'm sorry.
thank you. This is our, finance committee. I thank everyone for coming today. Mr. Nielsen, thank you for your comments. Ms. Wade, Ms. Bickham, our secretary, Ms. Edwards. She's been very, very, instrumental in this meeting today. And, Councilwoman Irvin. Thank you all. And as I said, if you have any additional questions, and I have notes, details about your questions that we have, and we can contact you. I think I have everyone. And this is David, everyone. He's our new, director of administration. So he's
He's still on his honeymoon.
he's still on his honeymoon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
She might still be out.
You're welcome. I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. Hang on. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for coming. It is greatly appreciated.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. I'm gonna go through this. I got my notes too. And I'm gonna,
Yeah, it's on the.
and I'm gonna go back.
All right.
Is there, is there? Is there a movement of masses? Now, is there a movement of masses? Now, just to mess them people about that. We can't call no names though, because of lawsuits. We can't call his name. Why you not here? Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. All right, now.
Check us out.
Did you get a,
I
agenda?
came to check y'all out.
You get an agenda?
No,
Okay, it should be.
this one here.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Gracie. I saw Chief out there